Welcome back. It's the Eternal Baseball Podcast. If you don't recognize it, it's because I'm in the new man cave. Never had one of these before. As you can tell, it's a little sparse in the man cave. It will get better. Probably
you need a big live, laugh, love sign right on the wall to your left.
The big Eat at Joe's neon sign.
Yeah, there you go.
Right? But yeah, welcome to my castle. It'll get better, but you probably won't see. Well, maybe in the playoffs, we'll see. Right now, we moved, so we are unboxing and packing up the old place. And look at this, how fuzzy I am. Get in there. Oh, that's better.
There you go. Oof.
Just what every talking head on TV wanted was some 4K high def. Look at Chris Berman's pockmarks. But here we are. We appreciate you joining us on Mother's Day. I hope you called your mom, treated your mom good. Cameron Fletcher knows.
Welcome, Cameron.
Happy Mother's Day. And here we are. And what I'm really excited about today, and you can tell by the big A on the chest, we got everything taken care of. This was the last one. Diamondbacks were the only squad hadn't made the Eternal Baseball Podcast this year. And here we go. And wouldn't you know it, they're playing the team who's in the playoff hunt, St. Louis Cardinals tonight. So even though I'm rocking the A and the Weber.
Perfect.
And if you remember Neil Weber, God bless you. I think he only had 2 games for the Diamondbacks. I remember when this jersey
deep MLB lore.
Dude, when this jersey popped up on eBay, I was so excited. There aren't that many Webers in the pros. And I think the guy wanted like $150 for it. It's the game worn on field uniform. And I don't need that. But Neil Weber wasn't in the gift shop, if you know what I mean. So I wrote the guy and I said, hey, I'm interested in the Neil Weber jersey, but 150 is a little steep. This guy only pitched in 2 major league games. And he was like, I know, it's rare. Can't argue that. And of course I'm M Weber or whatever. So he knows he's got me hooked. Right?
There it is, right?
Fine. So I don't have any Cardinals Weber stuff. So until they draft the Weber, I'm gonna have to rock the old Snakes.
It's a matter of time, man.
Dude, it's the vest, right?
Wait, is that oh, that's the sleeveless?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Man, yeah. Why no guns?
Oh, come on, gun show? Yeah.
Well, I mean, sure. Take the undershirt off, man. Let's get some rating.
I was wearing it off all day, getting some rays. That's what I do out here in New England. Work on my tan, as you can tell. I still need work.
The new Sun Belt.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's the Cub fan in Cam Fletcher or the Royals fan in Cam Fletcher or both. But neither one of them, I think, can handle rooting for the Cardinals. Yeah, I get it on some level. But yeah, this is our second to last Eternal Baseball Podcast of the regular season. And what's cool about, and I say this every year, we got to take care of all the teams earlier so we can pick more playoff critical matchups the last couple weeks. But next week, wild card bitches, right? We can pick any game we want next week that really matters because it should be, I think it's game 160 is next, or 161, because it'll be a Monday game. So we've had seasons where the last Eternal Baseball Podcast of the regular season is crazy important. Yeah. So hopefully that's what we'll have next week.
And we've tanked it with our decision making, but
as usual,
the odds were there. The chance was there.
Yeah. Like our bullpen decisions, always suspect, but usually entertaining. So that's what we got for you guys. We got Diamondbacks at Cardinals. If you're new to Eternal Baseball, thanks for joining us. Roto and I bring this to you every week during the season, so we've been here since November. Remember, Eternal Baseball gets you through that long off season and through spring training when the games are weird. And then right now when Major League Baseball is kicking up, we're going into our playoffs, and we'll be out of the playoffs before the All-Star break. And then it's all MLB All-Star game and the stretch drive, MLB Playoffs, World Series. And then right when your heart breaks because baseball is over, we'll be back with season 6. So pretty exciting. And we're looking forward to it. Today's Mother's Day, like we said. So hug your mom, call your mom. But it's also birthdays. So shout out to Detroit's Charlie Gehringer or Gehringer. Somebody's going to correct me on it.
I kind of like the Jur.
I mean, it's like GIF or GIF, right? But
yeah.
But
I don't know.
Birthday to Charlie, to Milt Pappas, who I believe is one of the centerpieces of the deal that brought Frank Robinson to Baltimore. So, oops. But that's not Milt's fault. Rip Sewell, good name. Francisco Cordero. Bobby Witt Sr. Is sitting at home and has probably had an alarm go off or something like, someone mentioned me.
His Google alert went off.
And not those kid, right? He gets all the pub. And Walt Terrell, who I remember is a solid number 4 starter for the Tigers. Around the league, it's Ken Williams' world, and we're just living in it. That's Baltimore's ridiculous outfielder who's got 65 home runs right now. And no eternal baseball player has ever hit even 60. So he's already set the eternal baseball record. He's got 152 RBIs with like 7 games left. Also got 29 steals. So he might put up like the Ronald Acuna Jr. season, right? Dang. He might go 70-30. Pretty solid. So that's coming up. Baltimore also clinched they're hot. They've won 9 straight. They clinched an American League wild card, no doubt, no matter what happens. But they're only like 4 or 5 games behind the Yankees. Again, with like 7 to play, that's a tall task. But they're just not losing right now. So eyes on Baltimore, they're red hot. One of the teams I'm really enamored of is the Cincinnati Reds, who've been on the edge of elimination for like 5 days. Like the next game they lose, I think they're gone. But they've won 4 straight with their backs to the wall. So now there's 7 games left. Everything has to go their way for a week for them to make the playoffs. So
yeah, the Rockies did that one year, right?
Yeah. Oh God, it's hard to remember the Rockies being relevant, right? I read an article today about the GM giving the manager Bud Black a vote of confidence right before they went out and lost 21-0 to the Padres.
Well, I mean, what do you do otherwise, right? Like, just
dude, I'd rather lose 34-2 than 21-0 because the nothing makes it feel like you could have played, back-to-back doubleheaders and never scored. So, yeah, 6-33, I think the Rockies.
Oof.
Worst record to start a year since the Orioles, whatever year they started, like 0-21.
Oh, that's right, huh?
And I remember every game, every sportscast, Ed Whalen out of Portland would put up the same profile picture of Frank Robinson just going, and 0-21, 0-22. That was a bad year. Bad year. 7th grade, I think that was. But anyway, what else is going on out there? Larry Doby of the Cleveland Guardians, who are also hot, has an 18-game hitting streak. And Oakland clinched the American League West division title. They're the defending champs. And if you remember last year, they got in as a wild card with a losing record. That's how top heavy the AL was last year. And went nuts in the playoffs. So it was a cautionary tale for all you division winners out there. It is Diamondbacks Cardinals. This is the 3rd game of their weekend series. In game 1, it was Max Lanier, who leads all of eternal baseball in ERA. He won his 17th game through a 2-hitter with 9 strikeouts. Cardinals blanked the Diamondbacks 11-0, fueled by Jim Edmonds' grand slam. So good for him. And then in game 2, Kurt Schilling, 3-9. Wow. Finally threw a gem, 2 earned runs in 8 innings. Carson Kelly hit a homer. Justin Upton had a 2-run shot in the 9th. And Arizona beat St. Louis 6-4 on Sunday. So that'll head us towards game 3 a little later on. But let me share my screen here, and we'll give you a look at the week that was. There we go. So, man, it gets busy here towards the end. So stick with me here. We're here in the first column. Teams in bold. So that's Baltimore, Kansas City, the Yankees, the A's, and the Phillies have clinched a playoff spot. So for Kansas City, they've clinched the American League South. Oakland's clinched the American League West, and Philly at 110-45 has clinched the National League East. The Yankees are 5 games up on the Orioles with 7 to play. So that one's about to right itself. But Baltimore, who's almost at 100 wins themselves, will almost assuredly be the top wild card team. Either way, they're guaranteed to be in the playoffs. So we'll see Baltimore in the postseason. For teams that are eliminated, they're in red. So there are other teams that are still in play for postseason berths: the Atlanta Braves, Chicago Cubs, Cincinnati Reds, Detroit Tigers, LA Dodgers, San Francisco Giants, and the St. Louis Cardinals. Good weeks this week included Baltimore. They've won not just 6-0 this week, but they've won 9 straight. Cleveland 6-0, they're hot, chasing those Tigers who had a 2-4 week. So that's how it's getting tight in the American League North. Montreal had a good week, 5-1. The Yankees 5-1. A's 5-1. Phillies, I guess, were 4-2. That's not that good if you're a Philly fan, because you have higher standards than that. Rough weeks include the Chicago White Sox 0-6, Astros 1-5, which effectively has knocked them out of the race in the National League South. The Angels 0-6. That's a big part of why the A's clinched this week, because the Angels fell off the pace. Marlins, Brewers, Twins all 1-5. Washington Nationals 1-5. And I know you guys, I don't know if you have enough time to get down here, but that's our game of the week tracer down there. So even with 4 weeks off on the way, we got every team featured at least once. And I think only 2 teams or maybe 3 featured twice. So it wasn't like, NBC's NBA game of the week on Sunday every week, where it was Michael and the Bulls against whoever, right? Shaq and Kobe against whoever. We do really try to share the love around here. And that's what'll get you tonight's matchup. So tonight's matchup, it is Aces Wild, which is cool, especially because we're the Cardinals. So it's Brandon Webb, and you got to give it up for Brandon Webb, because the Diamondbacks, where are they here? In the South. 59-96. But Brandon Webb is 17-14 with a 4.3. And I looked a little bit in our newsletter. Free newsletter goes out every Friday. Sign up at eternalbaseball.com. And normally the league average ERA is right around 4.25. But this year offense is up, probably due to Ken Williams. And and the league average ERA is like 4.68. So for Brandon Webb to have a 4.3, he's actually pitching okay. And 17 wins for a 59-win squad. He's definitely pulled his weight.
Yeah, that's great.
Out in the desert. But we get to be St. Louis, so we get Bob Gibson tonight.
Woo!
So,
all right.
Always nice when we get the biggest bullet in the chamber. Even though 17-12, Gibson's usually a little better than that, but a 3.58 is very, very good. That's a full run under the league average. So now we're ready for baseball.
All right. Let's see what Cameron had a couple comments.
Oh, let's see here.
You're saying sim through Monday.
It's possible. We'll see. It kind of depends on how it shakes out, right? Sometimes game 162, none of them matter.
That's true.
We'll see where it is, but yeah. I guess I should have looked at. Let me back this up for a second, since the standings mean so much right now. So we got the Giants 3 games up on the Dodgers. Again, this is with tomorrow's games simmed, because otherwise I'll be up till 2 a.m. We can't be having that. Need my beauty sleep. So other than Arizona and St. Louis, all of tomorrow's games are reflected here. So you got San Francisco 3 games up on LA. That's with 6 games left to play. Atlanta, just tomorrow, really, will clinch the National League South at 85-71. The Cubs are 3.5 games up on St. Louis. So St. Louis, if they're going to grab the division, every game is critical for them right now. But they're in good shape for the wild card. We'll get to that. Philadelphia 111-45. They got no worries.
The Nats fell just a little short this year.
Yeah, just 63 games out. Nick Johnson really should have done a little more for them. Oakland clinched the West. LA is kind of alive in the wild card. I'll show you that in a minute. Kansas City was the first to clinch simply because their whole division was trashed this year. Birmingham, who's normally a fierce power.
And they might even get third place.
Dude, they're 64 and 92.
Ooh, that's unheard of.
Rotten year for Birmingham. Detroit still has a 2-game lead on Cleveland, but Detroit is fading. Yankees up 5 on Baltimore. And then if I go to actually click up the standings here, I can show you the wild card bits. So this has no division leaders in them. So St. Louis is our number 1 wild card right now because the Dodgers lost tomorrow, apparently. So they've got a half-game lead. They can make that a full-game lead with a win over the Diamondbacks tonight. Cincinnati is 5.5 games back of Los Angeles for that last wild card spot in the National League with only 6 games to play. So no room for error for Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati's playing LA right now. So they actually beat them on Monday to stay alive in the race. That's kind of in the American League, Baltimore is fantastic. Won't catch the Yankees, I don't think. They take a real miracle. But at 99 wins, they're still dangerous as hell. And they are, wow, look at this, 12 games up on the Guardians. Guardians are for the top wild card spot. Guardians would be the second wild card if the season ended today. The Angels are 4 games back of them with 6 games to play. So it's not over for the Angels, but getting close. Not like Angels miss playoffs as much of a headline, but yeah, we'll roll with it. All right, so now we'll fire it up here. Here's the Monday scoreboard. So, and if you see that HH means home team, meaning that this game was simmed, I didn't just hit autoplay on these because these are all games involving teams who are alive in the playoffs. So I went in, set the lineups for both squads, and then hit simulate. So you'll see these lit up a little bit like a Christmas tree. It's not normally that many teams because during the regular season, games just kind of sim themselves and work themselves out. But I don't want someone starting like someone on the edge, like Cincinnati, might start a guy on 3 days rest right now because right now they got to have it. And the computer doesn't always take care of that kind of stuff. But here we go. Arizona at St. Louis. This is one of my, I don't have any particular love for St. Louis or hate. I don't care. Like solid franchise. But this shot of the field is ridiculous. Once you set lineups, I'll show you. But here we go. We know it's Brandon Webb. Maybe I need a Webb jersey. I don't know if I want to lower my standards. Just saying.
It's adjacent. Yeah, we'll give it to you.
It's 2 B's though. It's showing off. I don't have any Chris Webber jerseys because he spells it wrong. And there's Bob Gibson. Okay, so OPS versus right-handers for the St. Louis Cardinals. The guy who's come on crazy here at the end is Bill White. So he's definitely going to be in there. I don't know that he's definitely cleanup material, but Tim Hornsby, Mize, and Medwick are the top 4 for sure. And from an on base, White's the best. So,
does he have a ton of at bats though?
Not a lot. Let me show you. No, he's only got 30 at bats.
Oh, I think he'd probably go.
He's a late call up, but he's been killing it. So I'm trying to trying to find out if he's legit or not. But
sure.
But if Bill White plays, somebody else great isn't, because you look at first base and say
Johnny Mize,
Johnny Mize, Albert Pujols. Like Pujols can play a bad third or a bad outfield, but But I'm open to suggestions here, Roto. If you got
I think you go Mize. I don't think anybody will begrudge us that, unless you're really feeling like White's a hot hand.
He might get. We'll see. Maybe we can get White in the bottom of the lineup. We certainly don't need him at the top. As far as on base goes, actually Musial is the best on base guy. And obviously we're going to. Musial's great. And I still don't think he gets enough pub as one of the 10 greatest ever because he rates well defensively at first, left, right, and center. So, man, you don't think of him as a Swiss Army knife, but playing all three outfield positions doesn't make you, trying to think of a guy who played everywhere. Whit Merrifield played everywhere. But anyway, Musial's valuable because he can fill the lineup all over the place.
Yeah. And how many games did he play at first base? I'm trying to remember.
I don't know, but it must have been at the end. Maybe that's a Cameron question. If he'll sink low enough to look up a Cardinal. But if we do Musial,
we may be asking too much.
Right, that might be a bridge too far. But we split up our lefties, and that gives us Hornsby cleaning up, and Ducky Medwick, who only plays left, I think. Yeah. So Musial can be center, maybe. We'll see. Okay, so here's where it gets dicey. We can play Pujols at third, but he's awful.
He's never let us down at third, though.
Yeah, we can see where.
Knock on wood, but.
Okay.
I mean, he had one game I think where he had 5-6 chances.
Yeah, we kept
clean as can be.
We kept razzing him every time the ball went over there, and it was up to
clean as can be.
I saw, man, I don't even know when it happened. A clip of him it must have been near the end because he was in. I forget if he was in St. Louis. It might have been interleague with Anaheim, but it was Pujols, older Pujols, because he was a little heavier. And he hit a clean single to left where Yasiel Puig was playing for the Dodgers at the time. And they must have just known, or it must have been in their scouting report, that Puig doesn't hustle ever. So it was this clean single to left right at him. And Puig didn't rush it at all. He just waited. And he just scooped it up and looked up, and Pujols was halfway to second.
Wow.
By the time he looked. And Pujols was never fast, right?
Yeah.
And so Puig had a cannon, though. And so he unleashed this throw to second, and Pujols slid in safe. And I don't know what happened in the rest of the inning, but coming off the field to the dugout, Pujols was mocking Puig to the Cardinals. He was like, don't throw the ball, pick it up. Whoa.
Wow.
That's awesome. Just tore him up. Pujols it never struck me that he was mean ever, but
yeah,
I guess he was defending the game, so good for him.
Wow.
So we got
welcome, Dave. All right, here we go.
Good to see you, Dave.
Yeah, for Stan the Man, I will do it.
Oh, there we go.
Good man, Cameron.
Wow.
Well, that's quite a lot more than I thought.
It was probably at the end, right? Like Mantle even played some first base at the end when the knee was tapping out, basically. Okay, here's one of my favorite guys, Chick Hafey. Really good hitter, especially against lefties. Just a rotten fielder. So having Pujols at third lets us put Hafey in the lineup but have him at DH. So that's not bad. Then it's Ted Simmons catching. And then this one's easy because I've set some Cardinal lineups this week. Frankie Frisch is higher rated OPS-wise, right? But you're not sitting Ozzie Smith.
Nah.
All right. So we got Ozzie at the bottom. That's a pretty slick lineup.
Yeah, looking good.
Whitey
got Herzog managing. We can't lose.
Yeah, love Whitey. Okay, so we've got against righties. Wow, Carson Kelly's their best bet. I'm not sure I'm believing that. But Gonzo's the only lefty, so we can get him in third to mix up the handedness.
It's not too bad a lineup, actually.
It's not terrible. Christian Walker will probably DH because Paul Goldschmidt. It's funny, Paul Goldschmidt. I'm seeing more of him now because I'm a Yankee fan and he's playing for New York this year.
Yeah, how's he looking?
He's really good. Yeah. I knew the glove played. And he was really strong the second half of last season. And so the gamble was, okay, did he turn something around? Did he find something on the video? Or because he looked pretty pedestrian the first half and the year before. And he's been great. And they've been leading him off about half the time.
Wow.
Because they don't really have a leadoff hitter. And Goldschmidt's hitting like 340 for the Yanks so far. So
wow, that's great.
So don't yell at me because I'm putting Paul Goldschmidt leading off. It's happening in real life. Here's Stan Musial.
Okay, interesting.
Okay. Maybe that's when Bill White showed
appreciate
up.
it.
They had
Bill White.
Bill White, for me, I know him best as the Yankee commentator who worked for Phil Rizzuto all those years.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And Rizzuto would just call him White. He'd go, White, I had this dream that I ate a whole doorknob. Not just the knob, but like the mechanism and everything. And he was like, wow, that's something, Phil. Like, where do you go with that? Like, yeah, I'll tell you, man, I don't know if it went down sideways or... All right, 2-2 pitch to Schmidt. All right, here's Justin Upton. I guess maybe this is where Carson Kelly, who's actually resurrected his career a little bit, but Jay Bell.
Sure, why not?
Looking like a librarian, but that's okay.
Tell Marte at second.
Marte's great because I can play him in center, second, or short. So he gives us lots of options. It won't be second because we got the O-Dog, Orlando Hudson.
Totally forgot about Mark Reynolds.
Right? Well, how about a little Matt Williams?
Sure.
Just for name value. There we go.
Looking good.
We had, when I was running morning radio in Arizona in the mid to late 90s, we had Jim Traber, former Orioles first baseman, as our morning show co-host for a while. Traber was there in the Randy Milligan days, as in two guys fighting to back up Eddie Murray and play 10 games a year. But Traber was fantastic on the radio. He was so interesting because he played in Japan for a couple of years at the end of his career when that wasn't commonplace. So he had insight on Japanese baseball. He had played with the Orioles for 7-8 years. But when he was in Oklahoma State, he was also the starting quarterback for a while.
Wow.
At Oklahoma State, pretty good school. So he was their starting first baseman, best baseball player, starting quarterback. And that was when Jimmy Johnson was the coach of Oklahoma State. So
that's before he went to Miami?
Yeah. I'm booking morning radio in Arizona. It's hard to get guys on at 7 a.m. Pacific time, right? And all of a sudden, once in a while, I'm pulling Cal Ripken and Jimmy Johnson. And I'm like, dude,
wow,
I need more former athletes on my show. So it was him, Traber, and Bruce Jacobs. And Jacobs was a New Yorker, a great radio guy, but a little bit caustic. And we managed to get Matt Williams on the show for a morning hit, which is rare for baseball players because they don't get home till midnight. They're not coming on a goofy morning show. But once in a while, they throw us a bone. And we got Matt Williams, who was prickly with the media. Got him on the morning show, and Traber called in sick that morning. And I'm like, dude, I bet that's how they sold Matt Williams, Sarge, on the interview it's with Jim Traber, former Orioles first baseman. They'll treat you fine. And he came on the air with just Bruce. And woof, that was a cold interview.
So what happened? Just got off to a wrong foot, or
he didn't give anything, right? On the
Okay.
answers, just didn't give anything. So we kept him on for like 6 or 7 minutes, and then thanked him and went to break. And I don't know if he thought if he was dry as hell, we wouldn't call him back ever again. Maybe, but
gotcha.
There's my my Matt Williams story. Oh, that's the World Series, walking off the World Series. If you pan out on that shot, the veins are doing Steiner math on these forearms, right? And so that's all I'm going to say. Figure it out for yourself, right?
It's like looking at the Ultimate Warrior.
I mean, if you're looking at the home run spike, it looks like the patient is still alive. If you're looking at Luis Gonzalez or Brady Anderson or Brett Boone's, like Brett Boone's the new hitting coach in Texas.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, I bet they're going to turn it around. Come on. But regardless.
Allegedly.
Right, allegedly. I didn't even say anything. All right. Cam, we appreciate it as always. I was thinking today, because I was simming a Rangers game, because for a while, our Fred McGriff photo was the Tom Amansky shot of him. And when he made the haul, I was like, come on, we can't be cruel forever. Veda Pinson's picture for Cincinnati is a Sith Lord.
So good.
It has to be. I was wondering if I should change Palmeiro to his Congress shot.
Oh man.
Boy, and I'm like, maybe. I don't want to be mean, but I do want to be funny. Anyway,
I gotta get my son out, and we gotta start throwing the ball from the outfield into some tipped over garbage cans.
It's a good
I need
idea,
to start doing this.
I like the McGriff
Pitching for
came
St.
clean
Louis,
years later and said, "Yeah, I
number
never even saw that
45.
video." I'm not really
He had no idea it existed.
yeah.
First baseman, number 46.
Cameron had one other thing here. Let's see.
Oh, here we go.
Really? Gus Johnson? I would have
Man.
expected him to be animated no matter what. I didn't think he had an off switch.
No, I was assuming he'd be excited like ordering breakfast. Sometimes it's just not their day, right? So
Yeah.
we'll get it. But look at this shot of St. Louis with the arch. Come on.
Wow, that's legit.
Right?
We were
Well,
there,
yeah.
man. We were
Yeah.
there.
Well, speaking of, man, we're at the Royal Rumble watching my man Gunther.
Ah, you got the Gunther figurine. I love it.
He's pretty boring. But that's sort of his shtick. So good for you, Gunther.
He'll be back. He'll be back.
Oh yeah, he just beat up Pat McAfee. That's pretty exciting. Okay, so here we go. Time for baseball. We're going to be the Cardinals, playing for their lives, trying to win that division, or catch up and get that wild card.
I'm so shocked that Gus Johnson was bland. Man,
Yeah, it's weird.
would never guess that.
Trying to think. I don't know if I ever got Gus on the air. Maybe. It's a long time ago. I don't even remember most of that. Okay, so here we go with Bobby Gibson. Oh, I am proud of the Ozzie Smith photo too. Because couldn't be anybody else. Or if it was anybody else, they're doing it wrong. Here's Bob Gibson, Paul Goldschmidt.
Are they contractually able to do that anymore in this day and age?
What, the flip?
Right
Yeah, the flip,
fielder,
yeah.
number
I
8.
mean, he was
Justin
so well known for
Upton.
it, but he only did it on opening day and all-star games. So he was not doing it all the time. So I think they probably would have let it go, given how limited it was. And you never saw him slip or land awkwardly, right? He had that. So
He was a pro. A pro's pro.
there's a video online you can find of they're interviewing Ozzie Smith while he's just playing catch with another guy. And he's showing the transfer of ball from glove to hand. And it's like he doesn't even catch the ball. It hits the mitt and he turns it and facilitates it to his hand.
He's got the ricochet.
He's doing this, which I think most professional major league ball players can't do. He's doing this while he's in conversation with another guy. It's hypnotic almost to watch it. Like, hard to believe.
Well, when you see a master at work, right?
Yeah, right. Like, and you look at all the other yahoos San Diego's played at shortstop since that deal. Like, man, trouble. Anyway, here's Justin up.
Left fielder,
Dagon's got a question.
Gonzalez.
So I assume we're talking about Randy Johnson. Randy Johnson is probably the hardest guy to place. And I actually have the stats one over the other. And his quality of play was better in Arizona, right? I think he won 3 Cy Youngs and his World Series, of course. But his overall counting stats are bigger and better in Seattle. Well, the problem with his Arizona stats, if you look at total Arizona, is that he came back at the end of his career when he was a shell of who he was. So his overall stats in Arizona pale a little bit to his overall Seattle stats. But his prime stats, the 3 consecutive years average, are phenomenal in Arizona. But in the end, the overall stats, like the WAR and the wins, are a lot bigger for his time in Seattle. He just overall meant more in Seattle for a longer time. So we have him with the Mariners. But that's I think he's number one for debating where does he belong. There's a few guys like him, Carlton Fisk is another one where White Sox and Red Sox fans argue like crazy over him. Manny Ramirez is a good argument of Cleveland versus Boston. There's a few guys that are right along that line. Fred McGriff is hard to place because he spent 5 years in San Diego, 5 years in Toronto, 5 years in Atlanta. So the numbers are all pretty similar, and so they're a little hard. Why is Ozzie Smith upside down? If you haven't seen it, look up Ozzie Smith backflip on YouTube. It's worth seeing. It's a good point that he did kill a bird in Arizona.
That bird died gloriously. Like, we should all be so lucky.
Randy Johnson is a professional photographer now. Actually shoots NFL games sometimes. And the logo for his company is a black circle with an upside down bird in white on it. That's a good joke, dude. Love it. All right, here's Luis Gonzalez and his guns. Tapping out Johnny Mize.
Pitching for Arizona, Brandon Webb. Leading off for St. Louis, right fielder, Stan Musial.
Stan the man.
I just love that Musial worked in the offseason and his father-in-law is like 5 and dime.
Right.
Like, that's amazing. Just you'd walk in there looking for a hammer and some screws, and there's Stan Musial.
Mize.
I remember there's a story that in spring training one year, the Mantles had the Musials over for dinner because maybe they must have been playing that day, right? And because one of them would have had to travel to the other guy's park, and Florida is a lot harder to travel than Arizona. And he was, everyone said he was just the nicest guy ever, right? And when they left, Mrs. Mantle said that was, boy, he's really something. It was nice meeting him. And Mickey supposedly said, that's who I was supposed to be, right? Like, if I'd have stayed off the sauce a little bit, not partied so much, not ripped up my knee, I forget if it was rookie or second year, but the idea that Mickey Mantle would be in awe of anybody on the baseball fields, pretty outstanding. So
that's pretty cool. I like to think they got together right after one of those. Remember that home run derby show?
Right.
Here's the show on ESPN.
Yeah. And it had as much original footage as a He-Man cartoon. I think I saw that home run already. Wait a minute.
Second baseman, Rogers Hornsby.
He's a beast.
Oof, you got it. Nope.
Designated hitter, number 53, Christian Walker.
Who went to Houston to die, I think.
Catcher.
He's having a bad year. I haven't seen his stats.
The whole Houston team's kind of down this year, and I think Jordan Alvarez is hurt right now. So
their farm club came through Salt Lake, so we went. Actually, James was in town, Matlock, and so we all went to the game. And man, their farm system, their starting 9, they didn't have a single guy who was hitting over 250. I think. I mean, it was just there's some really low numbers on the board there.
That's a tough year.
It's might be a tough couple of years there for Houston. Not much for him.
James is in our fantasy league. He's a big Astros fan. Gave me Yamamoto for Hunter Brown in the preseason, and I knew it was Astros field because he's Astros fan number 1. And I leaped on it like this is a steal. And now Hunter Brown's starting to make me nervous about that, right?
Dude, Hunter Brown looks amazing.
So good. Now Yamamoto's been great too, but yeah, we'll see. Here's Carson Kelly.
Shortstop, Jay Bell.
Great specs. Maybe a close second to Sabo.
Well, Sabo had like full goggles, right?
Third baseman.
Like, Kent Tacove.
Albert.
All I remember was when they won the World Series, when they swept the A's, somebody got a mic in front of Sabo, and I don't know if he was liquored up or not, but he just went on a curse fest. He was so pumped up about the win and how nobody gave him a chance against the defending champion A's. And I don't know that I'd ever heard a professional ball player curse before. And dude, he just went off. And he looked like, come on, he looked like they called him Spuds McKenzie. He kind of looked like, but apparently a lot of 4-letter words in the Sabo household.
My son's so funny because he's still, every time that, we listen to your song on the radio and they say hell, he'll be like, Dad, they just said the H word. It's like, sorry, man.
That's good though.
I apologize, like brother.
Okay, let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah, share, like, comment. We like that. That's what we could use. Sharing, liking, following, all good stuff. I fell behind on my comments. Yeah, like that. Hard to believe the A's have a farm team when they play in a minor league stadium. Like, they were Yankees were there this weekend, so it was my first look at the Sacramento ballpark. And Boone was yelling at an ump on Friday, I think. And they said, you got to be careful. You don't want to get thrown out here because the clubhouses aren't attached to the dugouts. They're out past the outfield. So if a manager gets run, he has to do like a 60-yard walk of shame.
Or like the cart comes by and picks him up.
Well, and when a pitcher gets lit up and they take him out, he has to stay in the dugout because you don't want to walk out past all the fans, whether you're home or away.
Yeah.
If you got lit up, you don't want to do that walk. So 3 more years of that, A's fans.
Let's see, a couple more. It's home run or nothing here on the home run derby. Perfect. Much. That was a great show.
I barely remember that. I remember all black and white, and they would interview the guys with a stick mic.
They were like some high school field or something. I don't even know where they were playing that.
Jeff King.
Jeff King.
All right, we got Pujols at first. 75% to steal, Roto, with nobody down and Jim Edmonds up.
Should we hit and run?
Yeah, let's give him some coverage. He's off. Oh, Edmonds protects him. The O-Dog is giving a chase.
Oh, he's got it. Man.
Very nice. Okay, 34%. Calm down a little bit.
Designated hitter, Chick, Havey.
Yeah. The A's are, I think they go to LA next. I forget if it's Angels or Dodgers. And then they go to San Francisco, I think next weekend. So A's at Giants would be interesting to see if there's a bunch of Oakland fans who come to the park to either cheer the A's or boo the A's, right? Like, I don't know. They hate the owner, but I don't think they're mad at the players at all. You think the players wanted to live in Sacramento for 3 years? Like,
is it 3 years? Wow.
It's supposed to be 3 years before that Vegas ballpark's open.
Dang.
Hey, Pujols is 78% to steal, Roto. One down.
Let's do a straight one. Let's do a straight one.
All right. Off it goes.
The people, that was a terrible jump.
He got a terrible jump. Didn't even go. All right. Well, I'll probably save this. Here's the deal. Joe Randa, Jeff Granger, Jeff Martin, and Jeff Wallace. A lot of Jeffs.
Sounds like some NASCAR names there.
Yeah, right. And Willie and Billy Bob and Cletus.
Jeff Martin, Jeff Wallace. Robin's racing.
Robin's racing, boys. All right, here's Chick Havey. Walking. Goldschmidt's probably harassing him over there. Like,
Catcher.
Touch the glove. Touch my glove. No, dude. Come on, man. It's leather. It won't hurt you. Don't get that away. 3 Jeffs. Not a bad deal. Came out ahead on that one. Usually the team that gets the best Jeff in the trade wins the trade. I've heard that. Here's Ted Simmons. Simba. Pretty good nickname.
Ooh, there we go.
Send him. Right.
Yes.
1 out. Send him home. 54%.
Oof. 1 out. Who's on deck?
I don't know.
I think we send him.
All
Let's do it.
Oh, send Havey to third. Safe chance 66. If we're sending him home, we may as well send him to third, right?
Sure.
Safe, and we get third.
Wow, look at that.
Look at second go.
Ted Simmons.
I love the idea that he hit in the chest protector, right? So whatever. Fantastic hair for
Great
Ted
hair.
Simmons, right? Look at that. That flow is incredible.
Iconic hair.
So here's Ozzie, who's a real good bunter. 1 out, second and third.
Ooh, you feeling it? Let's do it. Let's squeeze it.
I kind of like the squeeze idea here. Suicide or safety?
Suicide.
Like
no guts, no glory.
Look at that. Smith out at first, but hey, if he scores, it's 2-0 Cardinals.
All right.
And Ted Simmons takes third because good, solid, fundamental baseball. Here's Stan Musial. Ooh. Oh, Marte got it.
Center fielder, number 4, Ketel, Mart.
Ketel, Mart. We're going to let that go. Shouldn't his nickname be Kmart? Come to think of it.
Yeah, right? How's that not happened?
I can't be the first guy to come up with that. Whatever. 2-0 with Bob Gibson. This game's over, right?
It's over.
Second baseman, Orlando, Hudson.
Hudson's a good bunter, but he wasn't going to bunt on Bob Gibson.
Baseman,
with the early no-hitter going.
Right? I could see someone try to steal on Gibson. Gibson step off and try to hit him in the head with the ball and then go pick it up and tag him out, right? While he's laying there. I was
watching. I was trying to watch. I forget I was watching. I went to see like maybe the Barcelona highlights for today. And the first video was a thing of people talking about their experience with John Stockton.
Okay.
And it was Earl Watson was being interviewed. And he was talking about his rookie year. He started bodying up. First time he ever played John Stockton. And he said, next thing you know, the ball whizzed right by his head. And so he turns around and he looks behind him, and he thought there was a backdoor cut or something. Nobody there. So he turns back around, and Stockton's like, you better back up.
Stockton was mean, and people didn't know that.
That just reminded me of that. You could totally see Bob Gibson just slinging the ball. Dude, the Clemens, right? Back in that Subway Series.
I think Stockton's nickname under the radar was the Paste Gangsta, right?
Dude, that video I was watching, that was amazing. It's like Gary Payton. Like, everybody was just like, this guy was legit. Like, we could not figure this guy out. Payton's like, I couldn't figure this guy out for 6 years. He's like, I was telling my dad, it's like, how I can't get under this guy's skin. And his dad told him that, well, that's because he's been under your skin for 5 years. Man.
Right. I love that the league was living in mortal fear of 6 foot flat, 180 John Stockton.
Well, he was like 6'3". That's the crazy thing.
Okay,
yeah, he actually had some size. But anyway, a little bit of
the story I love about Gibson, like everybody talks about how mean and how focused and how serious he was. There's a team photo from the late 60s where he's sitting next to Bob Uecker. And Uecker reaches over and tries to hold Bob Gibson's hand, like tries to do this. And Gibson doubles down on it and turns and does the interlock. And then they both grin like idiots. And they didn't even know it snuck through. And they had to go back and retake the photo, and they find both of them.
Oh, that's so funny.
So the idea that Uecker could even make Gibson be goofy.
That's legit.
It's Mr. Baseball, right? All right, so anyway, back to the game. Yeah, soccer all day.
Yeah, man. They were just. I remember watching them early on when they play the Blazers, and the Blazers just could not figure out the pick and roll. Like, could not defend it. Like down 22 after the first quarter, just like.
What is this wizardry?
Yeah, exactly.
Here's Matt Williams.
Still Matt. My hamstring just cramped up right on live on air. Man, I'm getting old.
Matt Williams is so disappointed in you. or he just came on my radio show again, but whatever.
Ow, man, that hurt.
Dude,
getting old sucks.
Hamstrings are no joke.
Oh, man. I guess you just work on my hydration leading up to the show next time.
Right?
Whew.
Brodo is day to day. Aren't we all, right?
IL-10.
Here's a Ducky Medwick.
Oh, Lordy.
Sit down. Johnny Mize. You got to stretch that out, Rodo. Point the toe.
In my defense, I had a sprinkler valve go.
Okay.
And of course, it's the one box that's like in the corner underneath the deck. So I've been shuttling, like crouch walking and like gorilla walking, like for about an hour today, going back and forth, and so
you don't need that. You need someone small to get down there. Call Russ. Call Russ. Because I still see him as like 4 feet tall. with curly blonde hair. Yeah. Here's Hornsby. And the range, apparently.
We had a little walkie-talkie. My daughter was out front with the, turning the system on and off for me as I was making adjustments. So we were using a walkie-talkie on a channel, and she finally turned it, and I didn't have an explosion of water in my face. So I actually swore. I was like, oh my, holy bleep, it worked. And then I turned the thing off. And apparently right after that, somebody came on the same channel and was like, oh, okay, yeah, we should probably switch channels at this point. Totally ruined somebody's Mother's Day.
Did your son come out and go, Dad, that's the S word?
Yeah, Dad. I just heard the S word.
All right, so we got a Hornsby 2 down for Albert Pujols.
Strike 3.
Sitting down.
Anyway, I'd like to apologize to whoever that was in the Salt Lake Valley.
Breaker, what's your 20, good buddy? Hey, it may be early here, but Bobby Gibson's throwing a no-hitter here through 3 innings. Just saying. Oh, yeah, right? Well, watch out for the FCC. They're not fooling around. Oh, I thought I jinxed a no-hitter.
Oof. Here we go,
I've
man.
never thrown a no-hitter live in tournament baseball.
Today's the day.
I jinxed it. I'm trying to jinx it, I guess.
Strike 3.
I had one going in a game where I was controlling the Yankees against the Orioles. And it was in the 9th inning. I think just 1 out. I don't think there were 2 outs. And they were going to let like Jim Gentile or some guy bat for Baltimore with Eddie Murray on the bench. And I'm like, can't do it, right? I feel dirty if we got the no-hitter and I let this happen. So I took over Baltimore, subbed in Eddie Murray. Went back. I think Whitey Ford was throwing the no-no. And I subbed in Eddie Murray for a pinch home run in the 9th to bust up my no-hitter and the shutout. Sucks, but I knew I did the right thing.
You're a man of character.
I am.
No,
I've been paying for it all my life. Here's Jimmy Edmonds.
Strike 3.
Sitting down. Shake cake. Ted Simmons. One of the better catching tandems. So they have Ted Simmons and Yadi Molina as their co-number ones, basically. Simmons actually is having a better year.
Send him.
Right? 15%, bro. It's a good idea, though, to go head first if you're wearing a chest protector out there on the base. Here's Ozzie Smith. Run, Ozzie, run.
Ooh, he's got a chance.
No, they got him. All right. Yeah. We're finally bringing people around.
It's contagious.
Right?
This courage is contagious.
Hey, man, some people like horror movies, right? Here's Christian Walker. Oh, it's over. There goes the no.
Man. Well, it's nice about that.
Plus Walker's 83%. Look at this. If you got the first single off Bob Gibson, he'd throw like 14 pickoffs in a row. Right? Just to let you know. No. But here you can only do 3. All right. Carson Towns. And then he goes. Christian Walker's going to get killed by the end of the game.
Dang.
Strike 3.
Struck out the next 2.
Oh.
What was that? Wild pitch.
He's going to cam anyway.
Strike 3.
Yeah. So Christian Walker broke up the no-no, spit on 2 pickoff attempts, stole second, took third on the wild pitch, and Bob Gibson just didn't even bother and just struck out the next 3 guys.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be Walker next to bat, though.
You think Bob Gibson came to the park in the Batmobile? Feels like it. Look at this. It's already catching on. Kmart. Yeah. Nice. Here's Stan the Man.
Problem is none of the younger generation has any idea what Kmart is.
Nope. And guess what, kids? You're not missing anything. Really. Not really.
The blue light special?
Strike
Right.
3.
He's Johnny Mize.
Ball 4.
Those were called stores. They were places people drove to buy things.
It's like Target, only less well lit.
Yeah.
Dude, they had a Kmart in Albuquerque. It was the worst store I've ever been to. It just poorly stocked. There were no prices on anything. You had no idea like what anything cost. Like they didn't have any scanners. It's like, okay, I guess we take it up to the register.
You take it up and you barter.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
I have a bag of potatoes from my farm. Here's O-Dog.
Yeah, camera knows. Nice.
I believe Ozzy will catch this.
Oh, he's got that one.
Yeah. There you go. Oop. I'm oversharing, but it's not my story, so it's okay. Just for the waffle maker. See? Now we're talking. Love it. Here's Goldschmidt.
Nice try, Goldschmidt.
Yeah. I'm going to try to hop one through the middle against Ozzy. Okay. Let me know how that works for you.
Ball 4.
Oh, Pujols is walking. You know he's a speed burner.
Send him.
41%.
Yeah. All right. Let's hit a 2-run homer.
Oh, Edmonds tapping into the double play.
No way.
Breaking my heart.
Oh,
Hall of Famer Chick Hafey appears to have one eye bigger than the other. I don't know if that actually helped him or not. Good for him.
didn't he have some weird spectacles too?
He wore glasses a lot.
Yeah, but they were like the really beady, like
Yeah, yeah.
librarian ones.
Yeah, he looked like a Bond villain, kind of. Yeah.
Strike 3.
Upton sits. Ooh, Gonzo got quite a bit of that. Musial on force.
Oh, he's got it.
He totally got it. Here's Christian Walker. I wish they had a hit batter button because I would use it a lot. I would use it right now.
It just says chin music.
Right. It should just be a skull and crossbones, right? You just click on it. Oh. As Yogi always said, it gets late early these days. I always thought this diamond on the Brandon Webb photo there, that Diamondback sleeve logo was awesome. The D and the B that made the snake head. That was one of my favorite bits of their marketing.
It's good, yeah. I just don't feel like we're in any danger of losing this game. We have only a 2-run lead. We only have 3 hits.
Yeah,
It feels like this can be a full CG.
Yeah, I haven't felt this confident about anything in a long time. Here's Ted Simmons leading it off.
7.
Maybe 15%. We can bunt him over. Ozzy's a great bunter.
Let's hit and run.
All right. Go, Ted, go. Oh, no. Ozzy hung him out to dry. Better make up for it, Ozzy. Nope. Come on, Ozzy.
I was out of the ball. See, we should have done out of the park baseball, man. Hit batter option. That was a clincher.
Right. Yeah, do they have a build a lineup in a way that doesn't make you want to blow your brains out option? That game was the least intuitive I ever tried. We tried a bunch, but
yeah, we took a look at it.
Let's see here. Yeah, you're probably right. Go to your bullpen for that uncertainty feeling. That's a good call.
How many I don't know. He's only given up 4 hits.
Webb's got 20 pitches left in him.
Let's let it ride.
He'll get out of this inning, I think. Besides, that's a computer's job, man.
Yeah, that's above our pay grade.
It's not my job. Here's Carson Kelly. Hitting it to Pujols cut in front of Ozzy for that. That's awesome. The stones on that guy.
He's safe.
And then he didn't get him. The throw pulled Mize off the bag.
we were playing him up. Dang it.
Now, if you're Ozzie Smith, and that's Albert Pujols in his prime, are you saying a word, or are you just letting that go?
I think so. I think something would be said.
Yeah, be like, look, machine. I don't come give you hitting tips, but let me share this one for you.
Johnny Mize would have said something. He would have jogged over and be like,
Albert,
come on, Mike.
I know you're not over here very often. Let me remind you that the area between these two bases, that's mine. Foul territory, you can go get one.
You're a decorative piece out here. Like, just don't move. Just don't move.
Yeah, just look pretty. You should smile more, Albert. Oh, he'll get this one, though.
Maybe.
Attaboy Pujols, getting it done. One down, and here's Kmart. I'm bringing it back.
Oh, man, this is Pujols Central. Oh, he's got him.
Totally got him.
Maybe.
Right after that, you know he looked over at Ozzy and went, bitch. Here's you go, dog. Oh, it's Pujols.
Gee, wow. Oh, he's there.
Got him.
Oh, Pujols. Well played, sir.
Gold glove for Pujols. Here's Ducky Medwick. Okay, so now I'll give it to you, Arizona. We are getting a little close to it. So we'll take over.
It's only giving up 4 hits.
Yeah, he's almost out of gas, though. So hasn't been terrible for them? Ziegler. Hudson's actually starting. So, geez. They've got one reliever with an ERA under 4.9.
Yeah.
And it's Brad Ziegler, baby.
Sure.
So, the Zoo Man warming it up. All right.
I was hoping for Kim, but all right.
We can do that, but people would accuse us of fixing the game, I think. Here's Ducky Medwick. Sit down. We'll do the old bull or mound check. Oh, Webb may be tired. All right. Ziegler's ready. Brandon Webb, you threw a pretty good ball game tonight.
It wasn't bad at all.
Pitching for Arizona.
Now it's Ziegler's time.
Number 29.
Look at that guy.
Brad.
He just
Ziegler.
reeks of confidence. We'll give control back to Arizona. Excuse me. Johnny Mize. Matt Williams, loving it. Rogers Hornsby. Walking. Somebody should tell Matt Williams to smile more.
Yeah. All right.
39% for Rogers Hornsby right up.
It's a little harder when Pujols is at the plate there.
Yeah, pretty much. In the wise words of Dave McDonald. Yep. I mean, we want to go to our bullpen because who doesn't want to put Al Hrabosky in the game, but it is Bob Gibson. If we put Hrabosky in, do you think they'd fight? That'd be awesome. I'd buy a ticket for the Mad Hungarian against Bob Gibson. Come on.
Be a good one.
All right, Gibson's up. He's still got 40.
Let it ride. I think we let it ride.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not going to get him. You want to go get him?
1 hit. Man.
Sit down.
Just no chances going wrong.
Oh, no. Mize drops it.
Error?
How is Goldschmidt 88% to steal?
Man, he had some good stolen base numbers in his prime.
Man.
Shockingly good. I mean, he was stealing like 20 bags a year there.
You know what? Go ahead and run, Paul. I pitched out. Oh, boo. Well, he's down to 67. Uh-oh, Roto.
That's all right. We got this.
First and second, 1 out for Luis Gonzalez.
Give up the ball.
I don't think any pop fly to deep short is going to win this one, Gonzo, but you do you. Mize is getting in a race, but.
Did you get it? Ooh, that's dead.
Man. All right. Now, I'm not saying we're taking him out, but I'd be remiss. Wait a minute. Let me look at the numbers here for St. Louis. And the ERA. So it's Ryan Helsley with his 2.12 ERA.
All right.
Who's dominant for them.
I don't think Bob would mind sewing up at this point.
Where are you, Ryan? Here we go. So this might be Bob Gibson's last hitter. We'll see.
Yeah, I remember saying 171 career steals. That's pretty legit.
Pretty good.
Shockingly good. Yeah, he had some decent years.
All right. Well, and Walker's the one who broke up his no-no. So this is the grudge rematch we've all been waiting for.
All right.
I don't think that's got the distance. Might get one home, though. Nope. Goldschmidt's not even going.
Wow. All right.
So we'll check the mound. Gibson is strong.
I think you could let him do one more batter here.
Helsley is ready. And this is an important game for St. Louis, right? But
I think you let him go.
Let's do our due diligence here. Take over Arizona for just a second, because I'm not sure Carson Kelly is their man here. So we want batters against right-handers. Nah, he's the best they've got available.
Yeah.
He's the man. All right.
I don't even remember Damian Miller.
Damian Miller was the main catcher on the world champion Diamondbacks. But he was also a scab player when they brought in the replacement players in the 94 strike, 95 strike. So he wasn't, because of that, MLBPA takes a hard line on anybody who crosses the line, right? So his name or image could not be used on any of the championship T-shirts with all the other players. He was blackballed from any of that.
Crazy.
Right? We had him on. We would have him on the radio because he was a good dude. He's from Wisconsin. He's a big Packers fan, so we would get him on to talk Packers football once in a while. And I don't think the players treated him badly at all, as far as I know. But yeah, he couldn't be on any of the merchandise.
Crazy.
Cross the line and you are dead to the PA. So anyway, here it is. Gibson, Carson Kelly. Oh, I don't think that's got the distance. It's over.
The final score from Busch Stadium.
A little bit of drama.
Yeah, a little bit at the end. A little salsa
Bob
for you.
Gibson picks up the win. He is now 18-12. Brandon Webb gets the loss. He is now 17-15 on the season.
Webb had
Time
the
of the game,
stuff, but
2 hours, 38 minutes.
I get you, Cam. I appreciate you sitting through that. I know that wasn't much fun. Your player of the game's got to be, Bob Gibson.
Yeah.
Overall, a good win for the Cardinals. So let me check the standings, see what that did, because everything matters now. So in the overall scheme of things, that win doesn't matter for Arizona, but that win moves St. Louis now 3 back of Chicago for the division with 6 games left to play. In the wild card, it puts them a game up on the Dodgers for that second wild card, and they lock up a playoff spot with that because Cincinnati couldn't knock them out of both wild card spots. So at the very least, St. Louis is in as the second wild card. They could be in as the number 1 wild card, and they're, got to say, a long shot to win the division, 3 back with 6 to go. But either way, the Cardinals are in the playoffs thanks to Bob Gibson and to Roto and me, man. Let's give credit where credit's due, right? And to the fine glove of Albert Pujols, third baseman. So, hey, we appreciate you being with us tonight. We're happy if your team is in Eternal Baseball, and that means if you're a fan of any current franchise or the Expos or the Negro League players, your team played on the Eternal Baseball podcast this year, and you can find that on our archive on YouTube. Heck, you can go back 6 seasons. This is our 128th podcast. pretty exciting.
Amazing, yeah.
But I'm more excited for next week because we can pick any game we want. So whichever one is the most playoff critical, we'll have for you next week on the Eternal Baseball Podcast. If you like what you saw, give us a like, give us a subscribe. You can follow us. We're all over the place, very socially. Find us on Instagram. You can find us on Twitter or X if you prefer. Facebook, YouTube. Best thing you can do is if you like what you saw, share it with your other baseball friends. There's room on the bandwagon as we barrel towards the playoffs. So thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week for another thrilling edition of the Eternal Baseball Podcast.
Thanks, everyone.